Whoa, stop. I'm not gonna make one of those videos today where I get to showcase my beautiful PC. We do something a little bit different. This is tech by an everyday guy. We're gonna do a PC building tutorial for an everyday guy with your everyday guy. Let's jump into it, see how much trouble we can get into, see how much we can mess up, and we're gonna have a great time together. Let's go.
So the first component we're gonna deal with is the motherboard. Let's remember that one of the most important points of the motherboard was that it had to be white. With the help of my assistant ChatGPT and BD1, I went all out on this motherboard because I wanted something that could last me a few years. You know, I wanted something that was very performing. I wanted something that I wanted something that would last me for a long time. So I went with this one. This is the AORUS, I don't know how to pronounce it, AORUS X870E Pro Ice. This is, according to ChatGPT, a lot of the videos that I've watched on YouTube, one of the best motherboards you can buy out. So this one right here is the AMD version because I will be using an AMD CPU. I don't really know all the specs for this thing, but it's white, it's pretty, it's powerful, it's gonna last me for a long time. So let's jump right into unboxing this one. By the way, like I said before, remember all my products are gonna be linked on the bottom. If you have an intention to buy any of this stuff, show me some love and go through my links. Thank you. Trusty knife. All right, it's open already. Ooh, nice. All right, we don't need that. I don't know how to go around getting it out. Oh, there you go. You know, I haven't built a PC in such a long time that I had no idea that these new motherboards were so heavy. This is really heavy. This is brand new for me, huh? This is a brand new experience holding one of these motherboards. Back in the 90s when you used to build PCs, the motherboards were not this heavy. Let's get everything out of the box. So some paperwork and stickers. This apparently is the Wi-Fi antenna. And this, I have no idea what that is. I'm gonna have to read. Some cable, which I don't know what that's for. This, I think, is could it be the graphics card connection? I have no idea. I want to check this out. Some other little bits. These are I think these are the risers for the SSD, the ones that give a bit of thickness. And this should be the heatsink. So let's start. So from what I've gathered, from all the YouTube guys, they assemble their motherboards on top of the box. And I think that's because you don't want to ruin all the under bits, bits and pieces. Once again, I don't know all the specs. I don't know all the fancy words. I just know what people did and I'm just going to kind of follow. Remember, this is a tutorial of a tutorial that I followed and I tutored myself in so that I could tutor you guys, hopefully, into building a little PC. Wow, that is really heavy. That's really, really heavy. Wow, that is so cool. That looks amazing. That looks really, really cool. So this is the this is the scary one, the CPU. How to put the CPU in here? I have no idea. Oh wow, that is super cool. That is ultra fancy. Oh wow, that is really, really cool. All right, so next step. So let's pretend to be a bit professional. So you see you have all your USBs, this is your Wi-Fi thing, your USB 3s, your HDMI up there, which we're not going to use because we're going to use a really, 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 really bitchin' graphics card. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. So, next thing. Let's see if you can guess. Let's go for the CPU, the scary one. You got this bad boy here. This is the AMD Ryzen 9800X3D. So apparently this is really, really good. I was gonna go for the Ryzen 9, but it was too expensive. I wanted to keep the cost, let's say, relatively low so that I could go with something a bit more special on the graphics card. Let's see how to install. This is the part where I'm scared poopless. Let's get our trusty knife out. Once again, link below. Wow, that's it. Look at that bad boy. Once again, I've never, ever assembled one of these new PCs. Once upon a time, the CPU was mounted on top of the motherboard, and it was all easy. You just take the motherboard, dump it into your case, and it was pretty much it. Today, you gotta do all this fancy stuff. So, let's get this out. Oh my God, it's so scary. Look how beautiful that is. Wow. Once again, very heavy. I'm not used to all this girth and weight on these components. Put this in here just to be sure. So from what I heard and what I've seen, all you need to do, you unclip this guy, you lift this guy up, and then what you do, is you get your little CPU card. Now you see this little triangle up here, this little triangle, this one here. Apparently this matches up to the triangle up here. Now one thing, I'm not using any gloves. I see a lot of guys using gloves. I'm not using any gloves because I don't have any. So let's go for it. This is the scary part. I don't know why. This freaks me out. So that goes in here. This closes here. Now this part here, you're gonna have to apply some force to it. Not a lot, not a little. I have no idea. Once again, first time. I'm a bit anxious about this now, but we're gonna do it. Let's go. We'll power through, all right? Come on, BB1. Come on, BB8. Let's do it. We can do it, guys. Could it be? Did it go? This came off like it did on everyone else's busy build. Oh my God. I'm gonna keep this forever. Here. You keep an eye on this. All right, so that's what we got. Beautiful. All right. Next bit. What we can do is we can either go with the RAM, or we can go with the SSD. Let's go with the SSD first. What do you think, huh? Now, how does this thing come off? Like this and like that. Ooh, okay, so right here, you got your heatsink. Remember, once you position the SSD, remember to take this off, otherwise it's not gonna work. And you have a little film here as well. You see right there? This film here, this needs to come off. For the SSD, I went for this. This I kind of know a bit about. These are the new ones. These are the new Samsung 9100 Pros. This is a 2 terabyte card. I'm currently using a 990 Pro SSD card. In that little guy down there, this guy here, inside there's a little hard disk. That's a 4 terabyte SSD. And I'm gonna be positioning the second SSD in here. I've seen some other guys do it, but one thing at a time. Stay away from the motherboard. I don't wanna cut my motherboard up. Woo! Look at that. That's a thing of beauty right there. So from what I gather, this SSD is single-sided. I don't know. It's missing the techie part on the bottom. So it's relatively thinner than some other SSDs. We have to take this extra strip of heatsink, whatever, this is the heatsink thing, to be positioned on top of the existing heatsink. So that the SSD rises up a little bit higher and can fit in nicely here. So, first things first, take away the plastic. Okay, plastic is gone. Excuse me if I stand up. Why are my hands shaking so much? Now remember to peel off the plastic as well. So let's go ahead and install the SSD. Take your beautiful SSD, make sure that the notch here matches up to the notch down there. There's a little notch in here. I don't know if you can see it. But apparently this will go in diagonally. Like that. Woo! Scary. Put it down. Turn this little knob here, and voila! SSD installed. So far, it's actually going easier than I thought. Beautiful. So let's have a look at the other connector for my other SSD because I'm curious to see what it looks like. So we're gonna do it like this. This bad boy comes off. You see how you got all your heat sinks. So from what I heard is that this connector here takes away power from this one here, or it takes away some sort of something, which is gonna reduce like the performance of your graphics card. So apparently this is the only one that we could use for our secondary SSD. And we're gonna have to put these little blocks here to lift it up like we did for this guy here, right? So now I'm gonna go and try and pry open that little guy down there and get my SSD out. This is what I was talking about. This is a little hub, which it turned out to be really, really cool because you could stick an SSD inside there without having to open your computer or anything. But since we got this really cool motherboard that's gonna allow me to install a secondary SSD, we're gonna put this one in here as well. This is a 4 terabyte one, remember.
1 hour later.
So this is, like I said, the 990 Pro, 4 terabytes. This will be linked down in the bottom. This is a really, really good card as well. This is a really, really good SSD. I love it. I use this mainly for backing up stuff. I do lots of 3D modeling, like I said, so I got lots of models in here. Also all kind of goodies. So we're gonna try to install this now, but we need to put those little blocks in first. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna take this first one here. This is the little black one, right? The little black one. I'm gonna put it like around here where there's nothing around. Yeah, it's pretty clean here, right? So we're gonna dump it into there. So we're gonna do something like that, right? And since this guy here is single-sided as well, we're gonna have to put the little gray one just to raise it up a little bit. Hey, look at that, beautiful. So now, like the previous one, like the previous SSD, we're gonna come in at an angle, drop the back, use this little thing here to fix it into place. So, woohoo! Angle. And there you go. Look at that. 9100 Pro, 990 Pro. Man, we're pros. So we got 6 terabytes. We have 6 terabytes of SSD here. Like I said before, this will be the main one where Windows will be installed. And this will be my secondary one for all kinds of stuff. Now, one thing to remember. When you go to install Windows later on after everything works, remember that you're gonna have to select the drive where you want to install your Windows. Now, if both of these are 2 terabytes, you're gonna have a bit of a problem distinguishing which SSD you're gonna be installing Windows on. So I'm okay because when it'll come up, apparently, because I've never done it, I'm gonna have one voice saying 2 terabytes and the other one saying 4 terabytes. But if you have 2 and 2, you're gonna have 2 and 2, you're not even gonna know where you're installing it. So if you do have 2 and 2, maybe leave the secondary one out for now and install it after everything works. Just a little heads up, all right? So now let's go and cover our SSDs. So remember, heatsink, gonna take this off. And we're gonna come in at an angle. This has got this little tooth, hook, whatever. It's gonna hook into there. And then we're gonna put it down in position. So come in at an angle. I was too far to one side. Okay, and then apparently, all right, it's okay. Second one, take away only the middle one because that's where your SSD is. So even this one here, same thing. Goes in there. And there you go. Hey! Assembled! Assemble! So what's next? Next. RAM, baby. RAM, I went with these guys here, the Corsairs. These are DDR5, RGB, of course, because I don't really like RGBs. Now these are the only 32 gig ones because I couldn't get the 64 because I couldn't get them anywhere. I don't know why. Everybody apparently wants to build a PC nowadays, so I couldn't find them. But you know, I can replace these eventually. They are the 6,000 megahertz ones, so apparently they're very good. Now, why did I get Corsair? Because, as you'll see later on, also all the fans are Corsair because of this iCUE Link thing where it controls all the lights. This seemed the best option, really. So you see the beautiful RGBs up there. So yeah, let's go and install these. Swear to God, my hands keep shaking. What's wrong? Oh, those are nice. First time I've ever held a RAM in my hand. I've never held one. From what I've seen online, these will not go anywhere here. There's specific places where they're supposed to go. So if you see here, it says DDR5 A1, DDR5 A2, DDR5 B1, and DDR5 B2. So from what I gather, you see that there's this little diagram here that says A2, B2. Those are the ones that you're supposed to populate first. So open these guys. All right. I'm going to take one of these. Now these guys here have these little teeth inside, you see? So I'm guessing that these go in like that. No, because the teeth are the wrong way. So it's impossible to get this wrong because this is not right in the middle. This is offset a little bit. So let's say it's kind of foolproof, kind of, but I don't know. So this is the first time I'm installing a RAM. This is the first time I'm installing a RAM. This is where I'm scared. So it fits in like this, okay? And then just force it in. There you go. That's one. And that's two. Woo! I need a drink. I need a drink. This is too intense, guys. This is really intense. Next thing to do is to remove these two brackets here because I'm going to be installing an AIO later, which is an all-in-one. This is that little radiator thing that goes on the top. And it's going to have a little pump going onto here. So I think I got to remove these guys. So let's start taking these guys off. This one guy comes off. Damn, these are really tight. And there you go. So apparently the AIO that I will be mounting later, which is, I'm guessing you figure it out, is a Corsair one, is going to fit on top of here. I think we don't need to put new brackets on, but we're going to check later in the box, see what they have in there. And I think that's pretty much it for our motherboard. AIO in here. That's done, that's done. Okay, you know, I'm starting to freak out because it's all the wiring later. That I have no idea what to do with that. So what's next? What's next? So what's next in our build? We got our motherboard pretty much set up. We need a case, right, to start putting stuff inside it. So let's see if you can guess which case. I'm very, very predictable. Let's see if you can guess from the accessory box. Anybody seen one of these? Yeah, you guessed it. It's a Lian Li. Very predictable. I should have gone with the Corsair one, but the one that I wanted, I couldn't find it. It was a 4500 or whatever it's called. But I went with this one here because theoretically I want to put the computer here and I don't have that much space. I'm going to move my mic to this side. But yeah, this Lian Li Mini V2 is, apparently it's mini, so we'll have a look if it fits. And here it is in all its glory. It looks quite good. I'm not going to take away all the plastic stuff yet because that's going to be for later. But there is one thing I wanted to show you. So, damn, it's got the power switch is right here. So, from what I've seen, you can move the power switch to up there. You see it's got the little thing, which I kind of like it up here. I don't know why. I'm thinking about, I kind of want to move it up here. So we're going to have a look and see how to move this up here. Let's start to disassemble it because I need to take the panels off and we're going to try and move it up here. Let's see if we can make a mess out of that, huh? Screws. Hey, it's quite simple. It's actually really simple. Once again, this is all new for me because I've never seen these really cool cases. I used to have those beige colored ones that were all closed up, you know. This is all new for me. All right. So there's these two screws here, right in here, to take this piece off. So we're gonna try and take that off, right? So you're gonna make a hash out of this. You know what? I'm gonna move my motherboard because I'm a bit scared to leave it here. So this joint comes out real easy. And we're gonna take this out and replace it with that. So to get all this stuff out here, we need to undo all the little Velcro strips in here for all the cables, because the cables I need to go up here, right? So that's one. I love these little Velcro strips. They're so cool. I swear to God, it looks like I know what I'm doing, but I really don't. I'm just kind of trying to use common sense. Okay. Hey, we're cooking with fire now. So this guy is gonna have to come up through here. We want the little power button there. So that, see, he knew what he was doing. It doesn't go in from the inside, it goes in from the top. Hey! I like that way more. No, I think that's gonna happen quite a lot this time. I think that's gonna happen a lot. Hello? Hello? Actually, I think I made a mistake because I remember seeing one dude moved it up there, but he opened this up and had the wires pushed over to the other side to come down through here. So I might have to redo this again. Because you see there's a hole here where it originally comes out from, and there's a hole here. So I remember the guy did move these across, so let's try and move them across. And after a lot of swearing and a lot of pushing, it went in. Check it out. Woo! Hope I didn't break anything because that would be a bit annoying. But yeah, cool. I think I can take these guys and I can Velcro these bad boys here to these little braces here, these little brackets here. I don't know, mechanical management is kind of lame, but you know. It's all right, we'll keep it like this for now. All right, get all these bad boys in here. And hopefully we didn't rip anything apart. So what I heard as well is that if you could leave this one open and even take this guy out to have more airflow going in. I kind of like that. So I'm going to try and take this little piece off here, because it's all about the airflow in the end, isn't it? And look at that, just like that, we got more air coming in because we're going to put our fans here. It's going to take air in through here and through here, blow it out through there, blow it out the back. This is looking so good, I love it. So the next step is to install our beautiful motherboard, which is pretty much ready to go. Now for this next part, I'm going to put this flat down, lying flat down, because gravity is not our friend here. If that motherboard falls, man, that's going to be painful. So you see here we have all these, what are apparently called risers, which will match your motherboard. And your motherboard is going to have to be screwed into all these little bits here, these little risers here. Now, we do have this box here, which is full of little goodies. So I think that these are the screws for the risers, I'm guessing. So let's go ahead and open this little box and get our little screws out. Maybe I don't even need the knife. No, I do. Thank you for your purchase. So apparently we have these little screws in here that look like little hats. I'm going to show you one. which are these dudes here. Can you see? Actually not, there weren't those ones there. They were these ones here, which are round. They're round. The ones that I showed you before, they were kind of hexagonal or... No, they're these little round ones here. These ones here, you see? And as you can see, these fit in perfectly. So let's go look for those. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We need 9 of those numbers there. Okay, so our gorgeous motherboard is here. And what I've seen guys do, they say to kind of stick your hand in there and guide it through. Is this right? Yeah. This lines up, this lines up. Let's screw them all in. Now remember, you have to screw every single one of them in, because I thought that maybe you could forget like 1 or 2, but apparently not. So let's go and screw these in one by one. Alrighty. But we got a couple more in here, I think. At least one underneath this thing. So from what I saw, I need to take my heatsink off. Right? Because we got one right there. Which I could have been a bit smarter and waited to put that on. Hey, no! And we are golden. Let's put our heatsink back on. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. So this guy goes in there and click it into place. Look at that. And just like that, our motherboard is installed. Look at that. What does that look like? That's so pretty. Hello. All right, so what's next? We can start putting some cables in. So come back to this side and start putting some of these cables inside. So to make that slightly easier, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take off this little bracket here so we can like get our hands in there, get inside and get dirty. I just taped it there because I don't want to lose it. I don't want to put it in with all these other screws because I'm going to completely forget which screw that goes in here. So that's just me. So what's next on our quest to create this beautiful PC? From what I've seen, the next thing to do is to start connecting these guys, the case connectors. So we have your USB connectors for these guys. You have your audio, and this is, can't remember, and this is your front panel connector for the switches and all that stuff there. So we're gonna start installing these, right? Now these we're gonna have to pass them underneath here, one through there, and it's gonna be complicated, but I got someone who's teaching me, and I'm gonna teach you. Now the best part of all of this is that I'm gonna have to start continuously turning this thing back and forth, which is mega annoying because it's not the lightest thing in the world, but I have a solution for you. No pro is gonna use this. You know what this is? This is called a, I don't know what's the official name, but in Hong Kong this is called a lazy Susie. And it's where you put your dim sum on there. And this usually stays in the middle of the table. You put your food in it and everyone around the table can just turn it around to pick up food. We're gonna use it underneath our PC so we can turn it around non-stop. And look at that, huh? Look at that. Look at that. Oh! But that background was scary. Make sure it doesn't hit the monitor. But yeah, look at that. Perfect. For what I need. Look at that. Perfect. All right. So let's start connecting these cables. So what I do know is that this guy is the hard drive, the hard disk one, and it goes, sorry, not the hard disk. This is the USB 3. USB 3 hits it in this guy right here. So this is gonna have to come around and go through here. But as you can see, we have this guy, which is in the way. This is the support for the graphic card, which is going to be mounted roughly around here. And it's going to be a nice big thick one. And this helps it not to sag. But at the moment, we don't really need this one, and I can't really connect this cable. So let's get this out the way and put it back in. All right, so let's start feeding through the USB cable, which is this big dude there, and it's written on there, USB. So we're gonna feed that through. Try and stay as clean as possible. So this will have to go through here. This little tiny one is the front panel, and that apparently sits on this side of the motherboard. So we're gonna fit it through this way. So what I'm doing, I'm just feeding them through so it'll be easier to get them all done in there. So this one here is the audio. Yeah, audio. Good guess. Good guess. And the audio apparently is on this side of the motherboard. So we're gonna feed this guy through here as well. And then we got this guy, which is the, I can't remember what this one is, but I know it's on this side, so we'll feed this guy through here as well. All right. So now what we can do is we can start connecting stuff. So this one here is our USB, so that goes into this guy right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to be very careful here. It's got a little tooth here, so that's going to slit into there. Let's get it like there. See, you can see the little tooth there. I'm going to push that in and all right, and that's gone. Good stuff, dude. All right. And what we can do now, we can put this guy back here, right? So let's screw this back in because we're gonna need this later. All right, next we got the USB-C cable. This is what it was, USB-C cable. And this guy goes up here apparently. Okay, so let's try and feed this through nicely and keep everything more or less organized and clean. So that's gonna feed through the little grommet here. And it goes into this little thing here, right? And it says USB-C, so apparently this goes in there. So let's see. Let's try and feed this through. And apparently it goes in only one way, so. Let's plug it in. There you go. Now we're gonna feed this boy through here nicely. Got it all tangled. There you go. I'm gonna pass this through here. All right, so we're looking good. So that's done, that's done. Now we can start doing these two here. So we got the audio and the front panel connectors, right? So for the front panel connector, what we have, I'm going to just show you real quickly, is you see how it's got like a missing pin up there? You see? So it's quite easy to install it. And that's going to go into this one right here. You see how there's a little pin missing in there? So it's pretty easy to install. I mean, it's kind of hard to miss it. So we're going to go and fit it in here. So the missing pin is on the top right corner, okay? So that's pretty much going in there, and there you go. Easy as pie, right? Have a look. Easy peasy. Now the last one remaining is this one here, which is our audio one. This is, I think it's the audio cable. And even here, you see, there's a missing pin. There's a missing pin right here. So we're going to do the exact same thing and stick it on the bottom right here. So, forgive me, I'm going to turn this bad boy a little bit. All right, and now we're really on fire here. Look at that. Huh? Isn't this like the coolest display thing? All right, look at the mess that we have in here. We're gonna start doing some cable management in here as well because, that's one thing I'm really not good at. All right, if you notice, I put a little lamp in here because of this. You can see it a little bit better because it's getting a bit dark in here. So I'm gonna take one of these. Zippy tie things and do some cable management here to try and tie these guys up. All right, for now, I think that looks pretty decent, huh? Let's say that the cable management, not the best in the world, but relatively clean, all right? Let's call it like that. So now we can start to do something else. So we got our front panel connected, audio connected, USB-A connected, USB-C connected. I think the next step is the AIO. Let's have a look. So if I was to follow the tutorial that I'm watching, he puts in the rear, he's starting to put in fans now. He puts in the rear fan as an exhaust and the lower fans as intake. And even the side fans always for intake. So we can start doing that. Let's have a look at fans. Fans are interesting. I really like the fans. So as I mentioned, we're gonna use all Corsair fans. Why? Because with the Corsair fans, like the RAM, they got RGB on them. And by using all Corsair, we can use this iCUE link, which connects them all together. And the app from Corsair can manage all the lights in one go. And apparently these are very easy to set up, very easy to connect, and they all basically daisy chain one to another, so we don't have like thousands of cables running around. So let's start having a look at these. These are the reverse fans because I need them to intake air into the case. Then we have this one here, which is a regular, not a reverse one. That's going to be exhausting air. It's going to pushing the air out the back. And this one here is going to be sucking air, also reverse. There's always a reverse. It's going to be sucking cold air in from the side. So my setup, the way I thought about it, was going to be 3 fans on the bottom taking air in, 2 on the side taking air in, 1 at the back exhausting air. But if my math is correct, it's 3 on the bottom is 3, 2 on the sides is 5, 1 at the back is 6. I got 3, 4, 5. I'm missing 1. I found it. It was in my cupboard. So from what I've learned, remember, I'm not a professional. It's better to have more fans intaking air than exhausting air. Obviously, you want to pull in as much fresh air as we want to keep everything fresh. So these 5 here are gonna intake air. So it's gonna be nice and fresh. And at the moment, we only have 1 exhausting the heat. However, we're gonna have an AIO, which is gonna be mounted on top. The radiator is gonna be exhausting the heat out top, all right? So we're gonna have, theoretically, 3 + 1, 4 exhausting air, and 3 + 2, 5 intaking air. So we should be pretty good, let's say. What do we have in here? We have some cables. These should be the ones for daisy chaining one to the other. I have no idea what that is. Oh, these are screws. And this is the module where everything's going to connect into. So this one is going to connect to that. That's going to connect to that. That's going to connect to that. That's one is going to connect to the other one. That one comes into here, and we're done. Easy. So let's keep that handy. And these are our beautiful fans. Yeah, look at that. Cool. So this is going to be on the bottom, right? You have these nice LEDs that light up here. It's going to be very cool. Another very difficult thing, which I've never understood, is which way does the air come in the sense of, let's take this other one here. These are not the reverse ones. These are the regular ones, all right? God, this is some serious packaging in here. So let's have a look at these. Okay, let's take a look at these. Look at these. You see how the fan blades are. This one is like concave, and this is like convex, or is it the right way? Can't remember. Let me know in the bottom. I think these are concave and these are convex. But how do you know which one intakes air and which one exhausts air? So on other fans, I think you have to know, but these are so smart because in here you can see little arrows which tell you which way the fan spins. So you see there's an arrow going that way, so it spins this way, and the air comes in this way, right? So this one here, which are the convex ones, where's the arrows? Where's the arrows? There you go, the arrows, convex. The fan spins that way, but the air goes that way, okay? So we're gonna mount this like this, so it pushes the air out. This is gonna be the one exhausting air. It's gonna be pushing the hot air out. This one is gonna be pulling the cold air in. In fact, you see, that's where's my beautiful, you see, the arrow comes in this way, so it's concave and it's coming like that. Okay, so you have different kinds. You see there's these two different kinds of connectors. So this one here is probably gonna go in here to connect them, you know, to connect one to the other so that they can get some power, I guess. And this simple one here is just to keep them in place. So this one here will go in here, I'm supposing, huh? And this guy here, it's gonna go here with this connector. Pretty simple. Now this goes there, and this one goes there. Beautiful. Way too easy. Fit it in there, and it goes in there. Look at that. All right, so we're screwing in our beautiful bottom intake fans. Let's use a bigger one. Okay. There's a lot of screws here, dude. Let's get our beautiful case back on the table and fit this back in. So this guy is gonna fit magic. So let's prep this one here, which would be that guy and that guy. These are going to go in here. So these guys connect like so. So let's go look for those connector dealies, which were not this. We're going to do exactly like we did before. We're going to do like before. We're going to put this guy here to connect one to the other, and this one to get power. Yeah, these have to be too easy. Famous last words. Let's get our case back up here. Now these dudes are gonna go into here, like so. Hey, look at that. I'm just thinking about how to put the connectors here, because this one here, I'm gonna need some space for it to go through. But I think it's better if we go like this, so this I can fit it through the grommet. Yeah, probably like that. All right, let's screw these bad boys in. I'm getting a good workout here. You know what I want to do? I want to put one of these in first, so I can connect it from there to there. Better. So my OCD got the better of me. I really did not like having all this useless cable underneath here, so that long cable is now coming from the top here, and it's going to go into this little box that's going to be in the back. And on the bottom, we have this shorter cable. But that required me to take these guys off, turn them around, and screw them back in, which took a while. And we're gonna keep it like this. I think it's much cleaner. You don't have this random stuff hanging around. I had to take the little support bracket off because I couldn't plug it in there. So OCD won, and we're gonna keep it like this. What's next? I don't know. So all our fans are installed. Motherboard is installed. Cables are daisy chained. Everything seems to be in the right position. The next step is to install the PSU. The PSU being the power supply unit. So that is gonna go in the back. That's gonna go in the back here. Let's get our power supply unit. What do you think? What would have made sense would be to use the Lian Li power supply, but unfortunately I could not find one. So I got the next best thing, and I really hope it fits because I don't know. This is the ROG Strix 1000 watts platinum. This should be good enough for what we're gonna run in this PC. Let's unbox. Did I mention that these are gonna be listed in the description in case you wanna pick one up? My daughter's gonna love these. Cables. So that's the actual power supply. Look at it. It's so pretty. It's really nice, really fancy. Look at that. These, I guess, are the cables, which, look at that. How premium is that? Cables are white. Look at that. It's all cut here. Wow, really cool. So let's get our case. So the power supply is going to be mounted on this bracket here. This is going to be mounted here like this, like that. This one here, it's got the two hooks here, goes in the bottom. And there we go. Now, one thing that everyone does is this. Turn it on, just in case. So that seems to be there. I really hope it fits. It fits. So mental note, if you like me, you cannot find Lian Li PSU, this will fit. And it's just as good. It's platinum, it's gonna be okay. I don't know the specs, but you're gonna be okay. Okay, so let's go through these connectors. So the connector that I know the most is this one here. This is probably gonna be the one that goes from the PSU to the motherboard. That's that one. Now we need to look for the CPU power connector, which is, I don't know. Let's start putting the ones that we know. Let's start putting this big bad boy. So I know that this is gonna go from here to through the grommet into the power, into the motherboard. So let's start putting that one in there. All right. I see it says MB, so it says motherboard. There you go. All right. Could not be easier. Let's pull these bad boys through. All right. Good. Next. So after very careful studying or copying from my tutor, once we put in the motherboard cable, we're gonna put these ones here to go from the CPU up here into the back, right? So we're gonna need two of these. And these are marked PSU, which is a power supply, and CPU. And we need two of them because there's two right here. So these are easier to put in without the AIO, because if the radiator was installed, you could never get your hands behind there. So let's start putting these in first. And this is the second one. Make sure we got the right one that says CPU. And that goes in there. So now we can feed them through our little hole up here. All right. I need to understand where these go. This goes into the PSU unit. So these are apparently in any one of these where it says CPU or PCIe. So let's go on the top here. That's one, and that's the other. So those are done. So we can try and strap these bad boys in up here. You see, we have some Velcros up here, so we can try and clean this up a little bit. What do you think, huh? And I don't know about you, I've never done much cable management, but that looks as professional as it can get. Look at that, huh? Come on. So we got the motherboard one up here, in here, up there, in here, out there, there. Theoretically now, we can install the AIO. So let's turn this around again. Jesus. Now apparently, this bracket comes off. We have two screws here, one screw here. This comes off. We can mount the AIO to it and then just drop it in here. Moment of truth. All right. Cool. Once again, Corsair. Let's open this guy up. So this AIO comes with a little monitor, which is very exciting. Lots of RGBs. And that iCUE LINK thing, which we can use to synchronize all the lights. So, hooray for Titan. Now, this is the first AIO I've ever opened in my life. I've never had one. So, I'm very excited. So, oh wow. With the pre-installed fans. These are not the LX fans, these are RX fans, but it's okay, it doesn't bother me. They're already mounted. These are going to be exhausting air, so I'm good with these. One thing I'm happy about is that this has the thermal paste already prepared on it, so I don't have to do anything really. I just have to install this. You just screw this directly into the motherboard and you're good to go. Let's get our bracket. So I don't want to have the tubes coming in from the right and coming into the motherboard. So the tubes are going to be on the right. Oh my god, what is all this stuff? No idea. Put these to one side. This I think is the command thing. So we got two. Anybody want one? Let me know. Write me in the comments. And we got the AMD bracket. These are screws. These are neat now. So let's put these screws here to hold it into position. I'm guessing. I have no idea what these long screws are for. Good to go. Just put these guys here. Put the long screws. What the hell are those for? All right, let's get back in here. So you It's not fitting because this guy's too high up, so we need to drop this back a little bit. Probably best. And let's start putting a cable to go from here to there. Actually, no, because this can go to the AIO like that. Take a short guy. Where's the short ones? We'll take a short one. We're going to connect that up to the AIO. Now let's see if it fits. It needed some shifting. This time we're good. Now let's tighten it all up and we're good. Good to go. This is the third time I've been doing this, third time, so we are all connected. So this guy goes to this guy. This guy goes to this guy. This guy goes somewhere else. No, not gonna work because that connector is down that way. Unless we go from this guy. This guy goes to that guy. This guy goes to this guy. And this guy goes into there. Yeah. Took a bit of messing around, but I think now we got it because that one's connected to that one. So actually this is connected to that. This is connected to this. That one comes to this guy. This guy is gonna go all the way to the controller unit. I hope. Okay, that was a lot of work. So what's next? Let's put this cable back in there. Got it. Got it. So what's next? Now we have to install the AIO pump, which is this guy right here. Okay, so that's gonna go in like this, right? But first things first, we need to change these brackets here because these are Intel brackets. We need to put the AMD brackets. So we need to go with these brackets right here. These will slide in and out, okay? This is what I've seen, so. Let's give it a go. Remember not to touch any of this. We're not gonna touch any of that. That's the thermal paste. So I'm gonna take this off. Okay, and these should slide out. 1 and 2. And we're gonna take these ones. Slide them in. Slide them in. Now, these should theoretically fit. So we got the thermal paste. Thermal paste. Don't touch it. We're gonna put it in, screw it in. We're gonna put them in, screw it in diagonally. First one, then the other, then the other, then the other. Oof, scary. So let's try. That's one. Not too tight. That should be it. Installed.
Now we have two cables to connect top of here. So we got this 90-degree one. And this one here. This USB type C. And we're going to feed these cables through the back somehow. So now we got these two guys coming out. So this one is coming out from the fans. That's coming out from the fans. This one's coming out from the pump, and it's coming out from the pumps. So now we can start with this guy. For the next part, we're going to start to set up the controller. This is the controller for the lights essentially, and all the iCUE Link stuff. So from what I've seen, take this off first of all. This one comes off. And we're going to need three cables. We're going to need this one here, which connects to the motherboard. We're going to need this one here, which is a power supply, apparently. Now this part here, we're going to need to have a PCI cable, which I think is this one here. So, right. So this part here connects to your power supply, and the other side, which is split, I've seen, only needs 6, goes into here. So let's start putting this guy in here. This is going to go to the power supply, and this little tiny one goes from here that back in here, and these all connect to the motherboard, except for this one here that connects to the power supply. Now these sides here, that's where the fan cables come to here. One comes to here. So, oh, and the other one from the power pump thing comes into there, I'm guessing. Let's try to set this up, huh? This goes to the power supply, so the PSI, the PCI, sorry. All right. Okay. So this tiny one here goes up to the right-hand side to this CPU fan header. So let's try to get this up here. So unfortunately, my phone ran out of battery because I'm shooting this on my phone. I told you I'm not a professional. I don't have all this professional gear. So as I was connecting my AIO pump and I was running some cables to the back, my phone just died. I just went to check and I have no idea where it stopped recording. But let me give you a small insight. So this is the AIO controller, the iCUE Link controller, and it's got these cables. This little tiny one here goes to the front, and it connects into the USB connector on the bottom middle area of the motherboard. Actually, no, sorry, what am I talking about? The middle one, this one here, the USB one, goes to the middle of the motherboard of the USB. This one, this little tiny one, connects to the fan controller on the top. My God, to get that in there, I'm gonna show you now. Your fingers have to be like this big. I had to dismantle the whole upper part so I could get my fingers in. And the same goes for the USB connectors in the front. I had to dismantle the whole bracket. So small advice, if you're gonna use this beautiful case, because it's amazing, don't screw in the brackets. I mean, screw in the fans to the brackets, but don't screw the brackets in, because you're gonna need to remove them at least 52 times. Let me show you where these pieces connect to, 1 second. So that little black cable has to go up here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's that point right there. Yeah, that black thing right there. That one there. But you can't get your fingers in through here. It's impossible. And the other two connectors, they're these two black ones here that connect to the USB connectors. and you can't get your fingers in there. So I had to dismantle this whole bracket. Hey, Kylo. And now everything seems to be connected. So check this out. I think the cable management went all right now. What do you think? I have no idea if this is gonna work, like none whatsoever. I kind of followed the tutorial and God knows. We got one last step, the most important step, the GPU. Come on, baby, let's knock it in. 5080 AORUS. Let's unbox this guy. Now remember, I've never unboxed. I've never used a graphics card like this before. I mean, I had a GTX 1080 in my laptop, but that came with a laptop. The old PCs I used to build, the graphics cards were like this big. More cables. Fan? No idea. Who wants one? Anybody want this? Leave me your number in the comments below. Screws? No idea. No idea. Really no idea. That's huge. It's huge. Is it gonna fit? Holy crap. I've never seen anything like this. I mean, I've seen it in videos, but I never held one. That's a big one. Wow, that's huge. That's really big. So I saw that this goes on top of the, goes on there, like this. Is it necessary? Wow, seems badass. It's badass. All right, I'll lie this down now. So let's start taking these off the slot covers, because dude said I needed to take off 3. So now's the moment of truth. We can slot it in. It slots in here, into there. And this is gonna be the support bracket. Scary moment, scary moment. Okay, so. Is it in? It's in. Let's screw the back in. Ta-da! Average everyday guy. Tech stuff. So far, seems like it's okay. Now the main question is, will it turn on? And will it connect? Will it see everything? Will the fans work? I have no idea. Let's give it a go, huh? So, I think the last thing there was left to do is to try and turn it on. So I've connected a keyboard and a mouse. I connected the HDMI cable to the graphics card, not to the motherboard. It's all ready. Let's try and turn it on and see what happens. It's going to turn on to this monitor here. All right, let's see what happens. Cross your fingers, cross everything.
I guess. Do I want to enable it? Yeah. Oof. Easy.
So as you saw, it was giving me some sort of boot failure detection. So I went online, I was crazy. I thought, my God, my components are not working. And some guy on YouTube just said, just press escape, it worked for me. What? What? Why do you do this to me? So let's give it a check. Ryzen 7, good. Pro Ice, good. Corsair 16, good. What else have we got here? Samsung, good. Fans, good. I guess everything's good. What can I say? If I could do it, and I'm your everyday normal guy who knows nothing about specs and tech, and I know what looks cool, this looks good. It's not your average Lian Li, everything Lian Li. It's a bit of a mix, right? But damn, that's beautiful. So what's next? I need to close everything up and install an operating system, update all the drivers, and I guess that's it. So if you enjoyed it, please subscribe, give me a like. Any comments are welcome. If you think that I did anything wrong, please let me know. That would really help me out. And I'll see you in the next video where I start to install the operating system. And that's great. Thanks for coming by. It's been a long day, and thank you. Ciao, ciao.